Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Caramel Sportscast. I am your host, Steven Avalos, alongside my dad.
Hello.
All right, so I would say that we've had a good week, but it really has not been that good of a week overall, considering how the things started for the Oakland Athletics for their season. Yeah, it nearly started 0-7, and then the Warriors, they haven't been doing as well either. Curry keeps playing great, but just the rest of the team is not really doing that well.
Yeah, they've won 2 out of the last 10 games. Not good.
Yeah, you might get something good out of Wiggins or Oubre every now and then in those games, but it's not like the whole team could do well together at the same time.
Yeah, Poole started out great, played great for a long time, and the last week or so he's gone way downhill. I think he scored 4 points yesterday in a loss to the Washington Wizards.
I don't think he scored at all yesterday. He was 0 for 4.
He didn't do crap. So once again, the bench is not holding up their end of the bargain, and just not contributing at all.
Yeah, well, we'll go more into that later, but we're going to start talking about the A's. So we were really excited about starting the season and such. We knew it was going to be tough. You start off with 4 games against the Astros, 3 games against the Dodgers, the World Series champions, and then back to Houston going against the Astros again. Not an easy start at all, but with how the A's have been playing in the last few years, winning the division last year as well, you have higher expectations for them, and they have to have higher standards. It doesn't matter who you go up against; you got to compete against everyone. And so far for the A's losses, they are 2-7 right now, and in those 7 losses they've had, pretty much none of them have been close.
No, wipe out.
Yeah, ugly starts from pitchers. They can only go like 4 or 5 innings the most, but they've already allowed plenty of runs. And the bullpen would play awful as well, and then the hitters just could not be accounted for at all.
Pretty much a complete meltdown by the offense and pitching, which spells disaster.
Yeah, and then also having injuries. Olsen got hurt a little bit. Pinder is hurt. Rosenthal is out for a few months at least.
Luzardo missed a couple of games. Murphy missed some games.
Moreland has missed a couple of games as well, although that's mainly he's still available as a pinch runner, but still, he's not at 100%.
And to have Moreland as a pinch runner is not saying a lot.
No, pinch hitter.
Pinch hitter. Oh, you said pinch runner.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay.
But
you make mistakes. It's okay.
Anyways, you also mentioned Laureano, right? He missed a couple games. Yeah, it just such an ugly start. Like anything that could have went wrong.
Yeah, and we went to Wednesday's game. It was a day game at the Coliseum. Beautiful weather. And first inning, I think Luzardo threw 29 pitches or close to 30 pitches.
Yeah.
And he got away only giving up 1 run that inning.
Well, before we go more into that, I just want to say that it was really nice attending the Coliseum again.
Yeah.
It was the first time in over a year. Actually, 2.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, this is crazy to think about. But yeah, it was really nice going there, being on Bart, getting that feeling, we're going to a game. And of course, things were definitely different, due to the health and safety protocols that they have to have. Yeah, even though everyone, had to have some distance, there was a feeling of togetherness, although it did feel like there was a lot of Dodger fans there.
Sea of blue.
Yeah, that's not even like an understatement. There was a lot of blue there. But, of course, it's things like that make it feel even better when you get the win.
Yeah.
That was the first win of the year. You were talking about Luzardo. Yeah, his first 2 innings, he was already at like 50 pitches, but he still went 5 innings.
Yeah. Held him to just a 1 run.
Yeah, well, technically he got accounted for 2 because inherited runner when he got taken out. They had him in for a little too long, which was a
yeah. We were
mistake
surprised because we didn't see anybody warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And they put him out for the 1 more inning, and that cost a run. He walked the leadoff batter, I do believe.
And it was a hit.
Oh, okay, got a hit.
Either way, the person got on base if either of us are wrong. And even though the hitting really wasn't there, I think they got like 5 or 6 hits in that game. They were able to make plays when they needed to on offense. Laureano making sure to steal third, and then he was able to go home on a wild pitch to score the first run of the game.
Which I called.
Yeah, he did call that. And then later on, Andrus, came through with a sac fly, which scored Chapman. Really close play if you look at it. He was able to knock the ball out of the glove.
Yeah, went into extra innings and we won. And now, how do you feel about the men starting on second?
I still think it's really silly. I think it made sense before because, there's a whole sense of, time to go through since it's only 60 games and such. And the thing is, the league has been trying to do new things to, help make the game faster, which I think is really stupid. Yeah. I think just make the game better itself, not, make it faster, because faster doesn't mean it's better.
You know what would quicken the game up?
What?
Automatic balls and strikes.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, because what really upsets me when you watch a game on TV is when they have that strike zone, and so many of those balls that they call strikes and vice versa. Why even have it up there if it's not going to suit any purpose except for the fans? All it does is make me mad personally.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. There's always been a dialogue about whether or not they should implement that into the MLB. Some minor league teams have been using that, or certain leagues, levels, have used it, independent ones, I believe they are. And it seems like it has been working, and it would make it fast because, one, it's called automatically, and two, there's going to be no argument going on. It's how can you argue with the machine?
Yeah.
And the main argument against it is it takes away from the human part of the game.
No,
and also it's more traditional. That's the thing with baseball. It's a very traditional sport compared to the football and basketball. It's all about, old style things, which, well, if you think about it, that might be a reason why it's the least watched out of the three sports.
I know baseball is always against having the instant replay, but they've done it right. Your review doesn't take very long, and you get a pretty quick answer, which is good. But the whole timing thing, baseball cannot be rushed. They've tried doing it before by having the clock in the center field, a minute and a half between innings. That's all ridiculous. The games will always last 2.5 to 3 hours. So just deal with it.
Yeah, and going back to the game, the A's were able to do what they needed to do. Mitch Moreland ended up getting the winning hit, which was our first win of the year, first walk-off of the year, which was, really nice, really exciting moment, even though, we sort of think, oh, well, now we're 1-6. And then it was on to Houston again, which, the first game was awful. Irvin had a good start to the game, but, he's been decent overall, but just
the bullpen
hasn't
blows
been
it for him.
Yeah, bullpen blew it, although the hitters don't help themselves because it doesn't matter how many runs you allow if you don't score any yourself.
Yeah, for the while there, when they lost 6 games in a row, they were probably averaging 4 or 5 hits a game, it seemed like. When they on the game when they played the Dodgers, their batting average was 169. The Dodgers was 333, and we expected a Dodgers sweep. But timely hitting gave us the win.
Yeah, and one big thing that I was looking at, stat-wise, is that the A's were dead last at one point in ERA. I think at least after the first Houston game, they were definitely dead last in ERA.
Houston killed us.
No, but the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for hitting, we were also last in batting average, at 169, while, at the time when I first checked those stats, it was against the Dodgers, and the Dodgers had something in the mid-300s.
Yeah.
Which is just...
They got a powerful lineup.
Yeah. But the A's should have one, too. The A's had a good lineup last year and for the last few years. They had a decent lineup, but...
Well, we got our first win, baby steps. Now let's just win our first series.
Yep, and we were able to do that now. We won 3 of the last 4. 2 of those were against the Astros. After losing the first game of the series, we won our second game with Minaya pitching. He was really good. We won that one 6-2, I believe. Yeah, 6-2. It was 1-1 for a long time till Matt Olson gave them a 4-1 lead with a 3-run shot. First
Mammoth blast.
Yeah, first home run of the year for him. And then we were able to get 2 more runs on in the 9th with a 2-run homer by Mark Hanna. A great win overall. And then today we had Frankie Montas. He pitched a great game, 6 innings and 1 run allowed. That you can't ask for much better than that. Bullpen, all right today. Sergio Romo and Diekman weren't too good. Diekman redeemed himself a bit, having a scoreless 8th inning. And then Wendelken had a good 9th inning. But, the offense, that was probably the best game for the offense right there, scoring 7 runs and I believe like 9 or 10 hits.
I don't like Romo. I get rid of him now because all he's going to bring is heartbreak.
I say he would still be good for eating up innings when you don't have to use anyone. You don't want to risk using anyone else in games where they're already lost or won.
And who do you want as the closer? Who would you have as the closer right now?
Honestly, I might trust Trevino more than Diekman.
Yeah, I don't like Diekman either. Diekman's he's like Steven said earlier, a type of inning eater.
No, Diekman could be better than that. He's just inconsistent. But he was really good last year. Really good. He didn't allow a single run in the regular season of last year.
In 60 games.
Well, that's still...
Limited amount.
But still, in that span of time, that's still...
Hendricks, where are you?
That's still a really nice stat to have overall.
Yeah. Take them where you can.
Yeah. And so, great win from them. Laureano had a 2-run blast.
Off the glass.
Yeah, Olsen and Murphy had a couple of RBI singles. Then Seth Brown had his first career home run. That was a mammoth shot right there, similar to Olsen's. More of a line drive, though. Great moment for him. First big league home run.
Pretty much an all-around great victory.
Yeah. Overall, I was just really happy about it. First series win, especially against the Astros in Houston. That's, I feel like, very rare.
And who do we play next?
We got the Arizona Diamondbacks to go against. I know Mercer will be kind of excited about that one because Madison Bumgarner's on that team, and we should have something to look into it since Stephen Vogt is on there now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll both, be looking for some alumni.
And in a very odd twist, the A's have Sunday off, which is sacrilegious in my view.
Sunday is a really important day for sports. Other things, but sports is one of them.
Yeah, until this past 2 years, I think, last year and this year, every major league team played Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every weekend. And now the Giants, opening week of the season, they're off Sunday. We're off this Sunday.
Yeah, it's just really...
It's a travesty, I tell you.
But anyways, a little bit of a small update for the Giants, so hopefully, Mercy, you're out there listening. Of course, we would prefer if you can give the updates yourself when you can. The San Francisco Giants have had a pretty decent start to the season. They are 5-3. Played pretty well overall. Things looked pretty bad with opening day. It was a mix of good and bad because their offense was rolling in the game, and then once you handed the ball to the bullpen, they immediately lost it.
Yeah, they had a 4-run lead going in the ninth.
Six run.
6
It was 6-1 at least.
Wow.
And then they just totally blew it to the Seattle Mariners, who aren't expected to be much either. But Mariners have, I think they're 4-3 right now.
So I give a little credit to Seattle, I guess.
Yeah, every team, there's gonna be bad teams that have good starts. There's gonna be good teams that have bad starts. Of course, we hope we're one of those good teams with bad starts.
But Giants playing better than expected.
Posey and Longoria, they've been pretty good. Both have multiple home runs. Bullpen is still a bit shaky, as I mentioned before. But another really nice piece that's been doing well is Johnny Cueto. He went 8 2/3 yesterday. It's a really great game from him.
And their opening day starter, what's his name?
Gosman.
He's been a stud.
Yeah, I can't wait to go against him, honestly, when the A's and Giants meet up. If we can beat him, that'd be really nice. And
Giant management, if you're listening, we would gladly trade that pitcher for who do you want to get rid of? Dinkman. You can have Dinkman. We'll take Gosman.
Romo. I think Romo's a better trade-off.
We'll give them both. Dinkman and Roman.
You're a little too hard on Diekman, in my opinion. I still like Diekman overall. But anyways, one more thing with baseball, though, is... speaking of, everything going on with the A's in their first win, it was against Trevor Bauer. He didn't get the loss for that game since it was in extra innings, but he did get questioned a bit about the balls he used in it.
Yeah, the balls were taken away, and they were going to be examined for anything on them or whatever it was. We thought Melvin was actually talking to the umpires about balls and strikes, but he wanted the balls confiscated that Bauer was using. So we'll see if there's anything behind that story.
Yes, and what would be honestly kind of hilarious if he did turn out that there's something was wrong with the balls, is that would make him one of the biggest hypocrites ever because he was always poking at the Astros for their cheating scandal. And if he's a cheater himself, then, well, he has
Shame on you.
He has no right to say anything. And,
Yeah.
of course, that would really shut him up, too, because he's a very vocal person, and it can be quite annoying. Well, one thing I'm surprised I haven't really mentioned yet is just how much I hate the Astros. And, just to further go into that is Dusty Baker was talking about how it's unreasonable, for fans to still boo at them or, do the trash can jokes and such, as that was very apparent in Anaheim.
I think he was telling the fans to get over it.
Yeah, get over it.
Because the Astros had paid the price, and he can go to hell. Sorry, Dusty. I like you as a coach, but Astros have paid no price. They lost a manager, big deal. They got to keep the damn trophy. No players were punished, and they go on as if just another day. But meanwhile, they get to keep the championship while the Dodgers were robbed.
Yeah, and that also just that's such a wrong part on Rob Manfred's part to say it's just a piece of metal, but that's already old too.
We're still upset, as you can tell.
Which made beating them even more satisfying, even though we did get killed in the first series.
It's okay. We got our little piece of the pie.
Anyways, moving on to the Warriors, things have been pretty rough there as well. They've won 2 of the last 10, you said?
Yeah, 2 out of 10.
Yeah, Curry, he's been playing great. He's averaging well over 30 points a game, but then again, it's easy to do that when no one else is really being that reliable.
Yeah, against Milwaukee, Curry, I think, had 41 or 42 points.
41.
And he was being double-teamed the entire game. And we beat him by 2 points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came down to the final play.
Great game with no help, of course, from the bench. Lee, Poole, Pascal, well, he's out. Anderson, Bazemore, Looney, they're not holding up their end of the team.
And I still feel like, though, some of it has to fall onto Kerr just a little bit because I feel like, at least for Poole, I feel like he's not getting the same minutes because like when he was getting more minutes, he was getting more plays in.
He's not producing.
Yeah, but I think it's also similar to how like in other sports when you put someone in a different spot, like how we were arguing like why is Olsen in the second spot and he's not producing there. It's like, well, if you really think about it, it's all just a order you go in. Your order shouldn't mess with how you bat, if that makes any sense. But I feel like with basketball, it does make a little more sense with when they come in or how many minutes they get. Like the more minutes you get, the more you're likely to, I guess, produce.
Well, like Mannion, they got rid of Wanamaker to give Mannion more minutes. And did Mannion even play yesterday?
No.
Yeah.
I do question a lot of what's going on with like the decision making on who plays and who doesn't.
And how much do the Warriors really want to win this year? Do they want to make the playoffs or do they want another high draft pick?
I don't know. And I feel like they don't really know that yet because it's just really frustrating to watch. And I feel really bad for Curry because it's a year being wasted on his talent. And also it's got to be hard for Klay too to watch because he knows that if he was there, there'd be so much of a difference.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're talking about maybe 7 to 10 more wins with Thompson there.
I'd say 10 at least.
There you go.
Yeah, but anyways though, it's just been pretty rough. And today they go against the Rockets. Oubre won't be playing. I don't remember why he isn't, but some sort of injury. It's not like he's resting. He's no one on the Warriors rests.
Yeah, in back-to-back games, they should win. Not by very many, I don't think.
But the Rockets are awful this year.
Yeah, the Warriors, it seems like, have had so many nicky-knack injuries. Oubre out with the wrist. Curry out a couple games with his back.
Draymond out a couple
Draymond
games.
Out some games.
Pascal Wiseman.
Yeah, the only really steady guy there has been
Wiggins.
Wiggins been a stud.
Yeah, I have a really hard time trashing all Wiggins, even when he has a bad game.
He did have a bad game yesterday.
Yeah, but he definitely has a lot of drive in him. He literally looks like he's trying his best whenever he's out there. I never see anything where it looks like is he putting his all into it? He always is. So yeah. But anyways, though, they gotta win against the Rockets. There's no reason why they should lose, even though they don't have Oubre. But what's so frustrating as well is that they had some good wins before, even before Oubre started playing well. Or when Wiggins got more settled, they had that one really good win against the Lakers with LeBron.
Oh, way back when.
Yeah. But they were still had some really good wins in the early part of the season. And now it's just like, even against worse opponents, it's just like they're just trending down. So it's not like their opponents are getting, like, a lot tougher. It's just that their quality has been driven down. I think it's easy enough to say it like that. And I think a lot that should, like, I know there's a whole like division going on right now between Kerr. Some fans like say that he got carried by having so many stars that maybe he doesn't deserve that much credit for it, or that, hey, you got to realize that this roster isn't that good. So it reminds me of another debate in football, but.
Yeah. And what is that debate there, Steven?
I don't want to go into it.
Okay.
But anyways, it's just really tiring to think about it. But I do think at some point the coaching does need to adjust some things. Because if they keep going down like this, adjustments have to be made. So it's just really hard to talk about.
Yeah, as far as the rest of the NBA, Utah Jazz and the Phoenix Suns are leading the Western Conference. Utah's 39-13. The Suns are 36-15. Suns have really played great the last month. In the Eastern Conference, you got the Brooklyn Nets taking over the Philadelphia 76ers at the number one spot. Brooklyn's 36-16, while the Philadelphia 76ers have gone down to second at a 35-17 record. Without Embiid in there, they're kind of struggling.
Yeah, and one more thing about basketball, though. Would you like to go into the NCAA tournament? You definitely watched that a lot more than I did.
Yeah, the Final Four was some incredible games, at least on the UCLA Gonzaga
one incredible
side.
Game, really.
UCLA Gonzaga game was a game for the ages.
Yeah, that was a really good game, and it was perfectly capped off with a game-winning 3-point shot by Suggs from Gonzaga
in overtime.
Yeah, what you got? It was between the 3-point line and half court, and we were already excited just seeing UCLA tie it. We don't really have any sides with it, although we were kind of happy for UCLA just because they're a Pac-12 school.
Yeah, my brother liked them because they were so good in the early 70s with Al Sindor and Bill Walton. They won three championships in a row going undefeated.
Wow.
I think, every one of those years.
But, so Suggs had a really nice game winner, but it definitely did not last long, though, as Baylor just whooped them. It wasn't even that much of a game, honestly. They were able to get it within 9 around halftime, I think the beginning of the third quarter. But after that, Baylor just took control of the game.
And once again, undefeated season goes down the drain.
Yep.
Baylor played such incredible defense. They smothered all parts of the court, not even giving Gonzaga any open three-point shots. And anytime anybody went down the middle to try for a layup of any kind, they were met with multiple defenders. So they were just a great defensive effort by Baylor.
And defense wins championships.
That they did.
You'll see it over and over again. And that's pretty much all we got for basketball. And just to go into football, we are a couple weeks away from the NFL draft. And still looking forward to it. I don't know. My football drive has definitely gone down a little bit, with school going on and such. And, of course, baseball just coming back into play. It's hard to, keep track of all three sports at the same time. It really is. But, yeah, draft soon. Still pretty much the same thing. Nothing really new has happened. Still going to look to draft either a safety or tackle in the first round. And if not, trade back and do the same thing. But
and
anyways,
the Raiders just had a signing, right?
Yeah, they signed Carl Joseph back to the Raiders. No details on the deal yet, I believe. But I think it's going to be really nice to have him. He's a hard hitter like Abram, what they want from him. But he can also cover as well. And I could see him getting a starting role at free safety to, do more coverage, but also still provide some good hits. And I believe, he could be a good mentor to whoever the rookie will be if they do draft a safety, which I believe they really should.
And remind the listeners of our draft picks position.
We have the 17th spot in the draft in the first round. That's pretty much it. We could be trading back, though, which I totally wouldn't mind at all. That's actually kind of all we have for this week. I feel like it's, even though baseball has just started, it has been a pretty slow week, I feel, at least for the other two sports.
Yeah. I was wondering if has there been a Scott Kazmir sighting?
Casimir. No sighting yet because he's still with the Giants, but he's in their minor league system, I believe.
Because as you all know, I picked him to be comeback player of the year, and you can't be comeback player of the year unless you get on the roster. So I hate to say this, Marissa, but I'm hoping for a starting pitcher injury to get Casimir in the lineup,
or just a starter doesn't do well enough. It doesn't have to be an injury.
That could be an injury, cut off finger or something like that, so he'll be out for a little bit.
No. Anyways, though, we got one more thing to talk about, which is very positive. Trey Mancini, he is a player for the Baltimore Orioles. He was out for over a year with a stage 3 colon cancer. Good player, and he just got his first home run since 2019 in September 23rd, I believe. So just a big congratulations to him. I know none of that could be easy to go with at all. So I'm really happy for him. And you got one, Dad?
And in other happy baseball news, Joe Musgrove pitched the first no-hitter in San Diego Padre history. He also happens to be a San Diego native. So that's way to go. Way to go, Joe.
Yeah, and way to go, Padres. They're definitely a team that I bet a lot of fans are going to want to root for, even if they're not from San Diego or anything like that. I don't know. They've done so much in the offseason to where, they have to gain that kind of attention, that popularity. And plus, what Musgrove did was really good for fans, too, because I bet there is some worry going on about, losing Tatis for a little bit. Now, there is some caution on whether or not he'll be able to come back immediately once his 10 days are over in the IL. Not exactly certain. They want to make sure that it's completely healed before he's able to come back in.
Looked like a painful injury.
Yeah. It also random, too, because, it wasn't that he got hit by anything. It just a swing, and it was just crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, though, congratulations to Joe Musgrove for making Padres history.
Excellent.
And that is all we have for today's episode. We hope you all enjoyed it. Any last words?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.